Hello, Lloyd. Hello again.
Yo, Fred, man, how's it going?
Yeah, good man. I'm good. I'm very, very well. We've got loads to talk about today, but I said I wanted to perform Chop to someone, and I said I'd perform it to you, and then you said let's do it straight away. So, I'm a bit nervous, but you should we just get out of the way?
Just do it, man. Just face your fear. Do that performance of Chop right now. The viewers at home then
Okay,
can all sort of be part of the discussion with us in the
right.
after.
So, as you know, I've been procrastinating about performing this to someone, and then for the first time ever, I'm going to perform it to a world-class magician. So yeah, no pressure whatsoever.
Don't be ridiculous. I am a world-class idiot, and that would be too complimentary of me.
Right, okay, so let's see. Right, so Lloyd, let's make sure we've got everything in frame. So what we need is a cup, a magic wand, obviously, and right, hold on a second. Right, let me just frame
I'm
everything.
so
Right, perfect.
excited.
Right, so I know I feel giddy. Right, you
What
can't
magic
see my
spell?
face. It's a bit right. Anyway, well, it doesn't matter. You don't need to see my face. Right,
Okay.
so Lloyd, you're familiar with the trick called the cups and the balls, right?
Yeah.
Of course you are, right? But we have a cup. We don't have a ball, but we do have a magic wand. So what I need to do is I need to find I've only got one note in my wallet. You can see I've just got my gym membership card and just one note in my wallet. So I'll have to use a €5 note. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
So if you were here, you could sign this. But seeing as you're not here, I'm just
Let me
gonna
give
have
you
to
a
put.
word.
I'm just gonna write your initials here,
Okay.
LB.
Yeah.
Because I actually want to spend this later on my lunch. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to write a little smiley face to make it unique. Okay. So as you can see that there's LB. So there's like only one of these in the world.
You know,
Okay.
it's funny.
We're gonna.
Whenever I sign things, I actually put a little smiley face.
Oh, do you? Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So going to try and squeeze this up really nice and tightly. Okay. Just like that. Okay. So now we have the ball and we have the cup and the magic wand. Okay.
All right.
So, Lloyd, what we're going to do is we're going to pop the ball in the cup, okay, just like that. And do you have a favorite magic word?
Alakazam.
Ah, I was going to say Alakazam. That's my favorite magic word as well.
Telepathy. Let's
Exactly,
do it.
right? So if you were here, I would give you the magic wand and then you would point it and you would say what?
Alakazam.
And then it goes, like it disappears. It's not in there anymore,
Oh,
which is wild, right? So like you
yeah.
think, where does it go? Okay. So if I was to give you the magic wand again and you were to point at the cup and you say,
Alakazam.
and it's under the cup, which is wild, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so look, we'll try this one more time, okay? So I'm going to put it in my hand, okay?
Yeah.
And again, you um, point the magic wand and you say the word,
Alakazam.
and it goes. But where does
Oh,
it go?
oh
It
yeah.
goes under the cup, which is wild, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they say once a trick, twice a lesson, okay? So I shouldn't really do this twice, but look, I'm going to show you, right? It goes, you know now, when you say alakazam, it's going to go where? From under here to under the cup. Oh, shit.
I said it too early. I said Alakazam and then it came out. That's
You
what
said
happened.
Alakazam and it was there. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, so look, but look, what I'm going to do is I'll show you this very clumsy performance. Okay, look, we're going to do it. Okay, so look, if you don't say Alakazam, it doesn't go under the cup. Not until you say Alakazam
Right. Alakazam. I said it too early last time. Okay, there we go.
and it goes under the cup. Okay, which is wild, right? Now I shouldn't really tell you how this trick is done. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'll tell you. Right, there's actually a hole in the bottom of the cup. Okay, so look, what if you can't really see it? Okay, but look, if I just give it a little tap, it comes out under there, just like
Ah.
that.
Oh, I've never seen that face before.
There you go.
Wow.
There you
First
go.
ever
Yeah.
performance. First ever performance.
Okay, big finale. Are you ready?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
one, two, three. Right, and it's gone. Now, would you be impressed if, Lloyd, your the €5 note was underneath the cup?
I would be impressed because I just seen you wipe it off the table.
Yeah, clumsily lap it. Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. It couldn't be under the. Of course, it's not under the cup because that's an orange. But do you know what the orange is, Lloyd?
What the hell?
The orange is misdirection.
Okay.
Because you remember at the beginning, I said that I only had one note in my wallet.
Yeah.
And look, I do. I said, well, I had my gym membership and one note in my wallet. And that note is your note.
What the F? I wasn't expecting that to happen. No, that's amazing. That was really good.
Oh, you
Really
reckon?
good. Yeah, I think that was really good, man. Obviously, you had one hiccup on like the third phase, but it was a negligible hiccup. And the best time to get a hiccup in a magic trick is doing it to a magician.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. How did it feel for you, the flow of the routine?
To be honest, like when I was rehearsing it, I was quite a lot more nervous than when I did it to you in person, which is so weird because when you rehearse it, it feels weird rehearsing the patter out loud, you know?
Yeah.
But when I was actually doing it to you, the words just came to me, you know?
I feel like because you're such a social animal, yeah, social animal is the right word. Um, I'm assuming as soon as we started interacting, it created that natural rhythm that wasn't there probably when you were practicing. So once you were in
Yeah,
the rhythm, I suppose you were just kind of a little bit going into autopilot more
yeah,
than
yeah,
doing it at home. There was a part of the routine that I hadn't seen before where you make the hole appear in the bottom of the cup, or you say it pops through the
yeah,
bottom.
yeah.
And I did not, I didn't, because I didn't know that part of the routine. I didn't see the method. I was that was very well executed.
Thank you. To be honest, I am my own worst critic, and even I thought that kind of went pretty well. Like, obviously, it was a bit clumsy, but like for my first ever performance, and to not just you, but an audience of people, yeah, I feel all right. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad.
I think I was honestly, I think people get so hard on themselves sometimes, and that puts them off doing it. And what I love is that I think you're just very rationally straight with yourself. Because I look at some people who have been doing it for years, and anyone watching this video will agree, they weren't as competent as you. And that was
Yeah,
your
yeah,
first chance, and it'll only improve. I think that was really, really good. And I think a large weapon that you have in your arsenal is your sociability, because I honestly believe that like 80 to 90% of the method or the skill of magic, I talk about this a lot, man, is I say all magicians are bad actors, and it's the most important tool that we have that we need to have. And what you have is this ability to be sociable and interact and just have very good like human nature skills. And that's for any magician, that is like 80 to 90% of the sleight of hand, really. You know, when you look at like when Tamariz talks about like the 5 points in magic and Danny Diortes, they are like the grand masters. And
mm,
a large part of their ability is their social nature. And that's what you have. So I think that's why people like gravitate towards you so much, especially in like the comment sections in your videos. So yeah, dude, you really smashed that, and I can't wait to see some footage. I'm sure you're gonna get it at a party at some point,
yeah.
event.
Well, that's kind of you to say, mate. I'll be completely honest with you. It's actually a lot easier to perform virtually than it is in real life, I think. Because of the, obviously the orange. I think the orange was I think you were surprised to see the orange, but obviously if you were here in real life, it doesn't take a genius to work out the cup goes off and then the orange comes back.
Yeah,
But you were like, oh, what's the orange? And then where I was like, oh, the orange is actually misdirection, and then the note ends up in my wallet. You were like, what? I didn't see that coming.
I genuinely didn't see. I was expecting at some point the orange or lemon to make an appearance because of the routine, but I wasn't. The rewind to the note in the wallet really screwed me.
Mm,
Really screwed me. And then like I liked it because whenever I like a surprise in Magic, it gets my brain ticking. And I was thinking, oh, you could do this. And in my head, I was like just going off into all these little directions. Oh, you could do this. You could start off having a photo taken of them holding the wallet, or you could put the wallet straight into their hand. Because what really, I thought I was trying to, because it was all crinkled up the note, which if I'm assuming the method was by design, having the note
yeah.
crinkled the wallet. But the first moment I saw it, I thought you'd loaded it in. So I was trying to click back to the moment you loaded it. But I don't think you need to load it, do you? Which means you
No.
have the wallet to the spectator from the beginning.
No,
or at least
well,
hand it off to them until you put their hand on top of,
well,
and then
you've worked it out. So, the reason why it wouldn't work in real life is because I would get them to sign it, and then I couldn't have essentially what was in the wallet. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, I mean, you don't. Well, here's the thing. We obsess so much on. I mean, I think we should talk a little bit. I mean, only magicians are really watching this, I
Okay,
think.
fair enough. So
Um,
it only works because I wrote on the note.
okay, so we obsess over writing on things, right? To the point where it kills off the opportunity for so much good magic. You don't. We are our own worst enemies. There are things that are far stronger than a signature that are much more
Mm.
convincing. Um, I mean, we could. I don't want to go too far off on this tangent, right? But just for the sake of this tiny part, an accidental tear in a bill, a torn corner of a bill, a forced word from DFB. Like, you could say, look, I know, I knew I was going to come and perform to you tonight. I know your name is Sarah, and realistically, I could have found your name. But what I couldn't do is anticipate what you're going to choose. So pick any one of these 100 words. All right. Okay, great. Well, we'll do
Ah,
that. That's even saying that out loud, I feel like I'm convincing myself more that it's better than a signature. But do you know what I mean? But because I really love that way you did that, man. I really love that. And the
oh,
crinkle of
thanks.
note, it just means that you could start off by saying, right, here's your note. Okay, pick. I do know I knew your name before we came here. So make sure, I'll write it. Put your hand on top of the wallet. And now, because I actually thought you like loaded it in for a minute, and so that's what that really fucked me up. So if I was holding it, it would have destroyed me. It would have been game over.
Yeah, yeah. That's why like I said, I didn't think that you would be fooled. I think obviously that it would be incredible to do a trick that would fool Lloyd plans, but at the same time, I knew it would be a surprise, especially like the orange. You'd be like, oh, the orange. You know, it doesn't take a genius to work out how the orange got there, but you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting an orange, and then I was like, oh, what's the orange's misdirection, and then you're like, what? And then eventually your brain is like, oh yeah, but it was quite a cool little kicker. I quite like that. And Craig says to like make the trick your own, and there was a lot of patter that I used that was his. But again, I literally just jammed this morning like really quick. So I was like, okay, right, I'm gonna do it with Lloyd. I said I'd do it, and I'm gonna do it. You know, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. And what better place to perform it in for you? And then obviously when we release this in front of loads of people. So
Yeah, but the more you do it, man, it's like a muscle. It's like the more you get used to like sort of improvising on like 'cause I with the Fuller episodes I do for Kaylee, most of that stuff is well, it's always I get one shot at it, so I can never
mm,
shoot the performance twice because then because the reaction's gone. So and normally I don't. The only person I can practice on is myself, like in the same scenario that you are in now. So when I first started doing them, it was essentially the same setup, right? When I first started doing them, I was super ropey and I was all over the shop. And now, like 3 or 4 years later, I can be given a routine and pretty competently like improvise and get from A to Z and feel. I mean, I'm speaking on self-reflection, but it kind of feels like at least now that a lot of people would think that I've done it 100 times, maybe.
mm.
But it's more about there's certain there's certain tips and tricks you pick up that you can implement that across the board to help you like get into and out of trouble as you're just venturing down into a new routine that you've never tried before. But man,
Yeah, yeah.
I really like that. Is it the type of thing you think you could find yourself doing more often, that the chop routine?
I think the more I practice it, the more I could do it. It's just it's not my sort. It's not like what. Let me ask you: would you do it because you've performed it? I think what would you perform it once to Kaylee? Have you performed it ever since?
Never performed it since, never performed it before. Um, it's the one Fuller episode that people keep talking about though. Um, it's the one that everyone talks about because she was crying in it. I even mentioned it. We were filming another episode yesterday, and she said for she said for a joke, I said, "Oh, Kaylee, you always say my tricks are shit," and she said, "Yeah, no." She's like, "And Craig's tricks are shit," and we were like, "Haha." And we were like, no, I'm joking. We were like, no, I'm joking because she, I was like, you literally cried at Chop. And yeah, there was something about that episode more than anything that resonated with her and everyone. Um, I I don't know why I haven't. I guess it's because I just don't perform that much. I have thought at times if I was going to do like a dinner party or be in that scenario, that it would be something I'd absolutely do. There is something. Do you know what I have done actually? I've got this over here. And it's not chop, it's similar though. But I've done this a couple of times, and it's from the TCC, and it's just a chop cup with little basketballs and an 8-ball ending. And I've done
Oh,
this a
cool.
couple of times purely because like it was easier to carry this around than a lemon. Um, and yeah, there is something undeniable about that moment of the big finish, like oof, and they're like, what the
Yeah.
hell just
Yeah,
happened?
it's cool, man. It's cool. So, on the subject of that episode with Kaylee, that was easily one of my favorite episodes. And that's what made me pull the trigger on Chop easily. I was like, well, Kaylee's in tears. Oh my God, that's the most amazing magic trick I've ever done. I've ever seen, really. So I've got to buy it. I've got to buy it. Right? I knew the method, but I was like, wow, I've got to. And then I get it, and then you realize it's like I said before, it's quite practice heavy. You have to practice it. It's quite knacky. It's not knacky once you practice it, but at the same time,
Not
it's
self-working.
it's not self-working. It doesn't work straight out of the box, which is a bit of a deal breaker for underperforming hobbyists. Oh God, it takes practice, and then the whole lemon. I was immediately, as soon as I figured out the lemon, I was like, I don't like to use it as an excuse, but like I can't really reach in my pockets with the wheelchair, so I'm like, I'm not gonna have a lemon on me. Will I? And if I ever do it, I'll just do it without the lemon. In fact, I thought of a really good way of doing it is because when I have lunch in the lunchroom at work, there's always a receipt there's always a receipt that's balled up, and I could just do it like quite impromptu with a coffee cup, and I'll just be like, oh, boom, and I'll just do a few little routines with it rather than like the whole lemon. It doesn't have to end with an orange, but it's just like very, what's the word? Impromptu. Like, oh, I just got this is on the table anyway because we always have to keep our
That's what I love
receipts.
so much about it is the organic nature. And I think a big part of the reason, like I said, the big part of the reason why I don't do it so much is because I don't want to carry a lemon around. And I think partly why my eyes lit up at the way you've done it with the wallet end in there is probably because it's tapped into what really appeals to me looking at it, which is, oh, I would do that version everywhere.
Yeah,
Like I wouldn't like I travel light. I don't have a wallet. I don't have a bunch of stuff on me. So I would a lemon is crazy to carry.
yeah,
But
yeah. I know.
I would have my phone. In which case I could do I keep things in the back of my I can't show it to you, but I keep my lottery ticket in the back of my phone and other things, which means I could keep the bill there.
Yeah,
Which means so as soon as I seen that, it's like, oh, I could literally do it. I've got that surprise ending which it needs,
yeah.
but also I don't have to carry something like bulging around up with me all the time.
I think someone said in the comment section that you could do it to impossible location. Like there's a box that you could give to someone at the beginning. It's like you keep hold of that box, and then at the end it ends up in a box, or even just the wallet is kind of an impossible location, right? But you'd have to use a dupe.
I
But
really love that it came out crinkled up. Sorry, that is
yeah,
sending me. That is really sending me.
yeah, that's cool.
There's something really really beautiful about that. Uh, yeah, I like yeah, I don't know. I don't actually. The more I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, oh God, I need to try this out. I really feel like I should try this out. I should do another episode on it actually.
Yeah, maybe. So I wanted to just quickly double down on before we move away. The Fuller episodes are so amazing, and the amount of tricks that you've made me buy because of Kaylee's reactions. She has the best reactions in all of Magic, and I thought to myself, I would love to do a magic trick to Kaylee because she has the best reactions. But then I'm like, it suddenly occurs to me as, wait, Lloyd Barnes is Kaylee's wife. No wonder she has the best reactions. Like she's got like you as her husband, right? I'm like, so you are. You
No,
know, a fantastic performer of magic, and of course she has those reactions. But also, I think I don't know, it's just great. I think if the world
she does
reacted to
magic.
magic like Kaylee, we would be kings.
Yeah, we would be the rulers of the earth. No, what it is, man. When we first we met in high school together, and we had a little kiss and things. We were little, but then we went on to other sides of the world traveling. I went to India. She went to Australia and all these places, and then life happened. And then like nearly 10 years ago now, or over 10 years ago, Dynamo invited me to go and watch his show, so I was watching it, and I see this girl getting up on stage, and I'm like, that's fucking Kaylee from school. That's Kaylee. And she was on the stage then. Afterwards, me and Dee were messaging on Twitter back and forth. So she Facebooked me. She's like, "Oh my God, how do you know him?" And I was like, "Well," I was like, I don't really like to tell people what I do, but I kind of help engineer things and all this." And turns out she was a gigantic fan of magic. Anyway, I'll cut the long story short. Eventually ended up dating. and go back to her house, meet her mum and dad, and she's showing me around, shows me the bedroom, and in her bedroom she literally has Darren Brown books, Dynamo books, videos of magicians, but all lay people aimed magic. So it turns out
Mm.
she was like a genuine fan, a huge fan of magic. So like I made a video the other week about like what does it mean to be a magician or something like 3 tips to be a better
Mm.
magician. And one of them was like if someone's just like not interested in magic, I don't want to be fighting for their approval or their attention. I'm just not gonna waste that energy. I want those people. I want to share my gift of magic with people who are at least open to having a fun time. And Kaylee's the perfect example of that. She doesn't play to the camera, and I'll be real with you. There have been episodes. So I said earlier, the closer we get to faking it is if it goes wrong because those
Hmm.
episodes never air. So I can't do it twice, but you'll never see that trick. And there's been some big tricks by big artists that have been sent in, um, and sometimes she sees it, and like in 1 or 2 cases, it was like the trick was just I did the trick pretty good, competently, but it was just a bad trick. And to not I'm not interested in like crapping on anyone's work or someone's hard work. So in those cases, we just don't air them. They never see the light of
Mm.
day. It's just I think it's not. I don't want to create negativity, but yeah. So
Yeah.
you essentially you're not there's nothing fake, but you're not seeing it when it goes horribly wrong. And so what I'm saying is she is human. There are certainly times there was one effect that I was so excited to show her. It wasn't mine, and it was a big deal at the time. And they'd got me this person got me an early copy. I performed it. I'm trying not to even like telegraph what it was. I performed it to her. Performance went pretty good. She was like, "Oh, that was kind of cool." And I was expecting like
Mm.
reactions. And then I put the thing down on the table. I was like, okay, cool. Well, what you seem like you're pretty speechless and stunned. Like, tell me, what do you think? And she picked the object up and it exposed the gimmick straight away. Like not because the object broke, but you could that was how it was done. But it meant it and realistically, I'll never go out and do that thing because other participants are going to pick it up and want to.
Hmm.
And she picked it up and it opened up on camera and she was like, oh, ah. And I was like,
That's how it works.
yeah. And it killed the magic a bit. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to air this episode. I feel like I kind of want to because warts and all attitude to life. But I feel like it was really, if I was that creator, I'd been really upset.
Yeah.
With
No,
that.
that makes sense.
So she
And
is human.
I love that it's so genuine as well. And on that subject, actually, by the way, I just wanted to say I really like the story of how you and Kaylee met. You didn't have to rush through that. I thought that was really sweet. But
Oh,
on the subject of Kaylee's reactions, I bought my first ever magic effect since I started my channel. When I started my channel, I said I've got way too much magic. I'm going to start performing with magic rather than buying any more magic. Don't even get me started on the FOMO I got from your Blackpool video. But like
you're
I
going to see a new video come in the next couple of days.
yeah,
And I can say this openly because it's not my trick, but you're probably going to buy it on the site. It's so conversational. It's so good.
nice. Well,
Can't remember.
I'm open to buying new ones. But I bought the effect by Jake Keen. I forgot what it's called, but it was the app video that you did. You know, with the clip art
Oh, and Engram. I cannot
engram.
remember the name of that trick. I keep saying to Jake, I can't remember the name of it. I don't know why that doesn't work. But yeah, what do you
Yeah.
think of it?
Well, but I love it. I've not performed with it yet, but it was cheap. I think it was only like €7 on his Patreon to get it, and I was like, wow, I wanted to get it when it came out, and then after I saw Kaylee's reaction and your video, I was like, I've got to get it. It was so funny because I
Yeah,
was watching, hardly ever watch magic videos with my girlfriend. But we were watching it together because obviously
cool.
we'd done a podcast and she was like, "Oh, look at Lloyd and look at Kaylee, they're so cute together." I'm like, "Aren't they? Right? It's so lovely to see the dynamic. Like
Oh,
this is why I love watching their content." And I paused the video to go and buy this magic trick. She was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I want it. Like, my love, it's only €7." And she was like, you said you weren't going to buy any more magic. I was like, yeah, but look at this one. Look at her giddy excitement. Like, I really want to see how it's done. Like, you even exposed how it was done to her, and even she was so impressed with the method. I was like, well,
yeah.
I've got to get it right. So I got it, and I loved it. I love it, but I haven't performed with it yet. It's just not that it's not great. It's just I don't really do phone magic that much. But
So
yeah,
you
I
bought a own magic trick.
But that's the
But
power. That's the
you've seen the
power of.
you've seen the method though, right?
Oh, it's
Now,
fantastic. Yeah, it's
so
fantastic.
clever, and what I love about that method is that it's essentially foolproof.
Mm,
It's I see it as like an analog method in a sense, as in like you haven't got to wait to be sent any like sort of relay to a secret electronic peak thing, and then you've got to go and you got it's in terms of being be essentially, even though it is a phone thing, it's very like black and white how it works. Like, oh, do this, do that, done.
yeah,
And that I thought it was just so sneaky and it's so
yeah.
smart.
It's not that I won't perform it. It's just that I haven't performed with it yet. Um, just because I haven't really found the opportunity. I had an opportunity yesterday. I met up with an old friend who I haven't seen for like 10 years, and he came to Morzine and he said, "Yeah, let's meet up." And we were having a good old catch up. And then he was talking to me about like, "Oh, you've got a YouTube channel." I said, "Oh yeah," and we're talking about the podcast. I was like, "Oh, dude, so many different podcasts. In fact, I've got a podcast tomorrow." And he said, "Oh, who's it with?" I said, "Oh, it's with the magician." And anyway, he kind of got into it, and he said, "Are you a magician?" I said, "I am a magician." He said, "Oh," and he never asked, but I said, "Do you want to see something?" He was like, "Oh, absolutely, I'd love to." So I went into I ended up doing like quite a lot of magic to him. I even used called Double Feature. It is a phone app.
David
It's
Jonathan.
one, yes, the one where they write any famous actor. And they're like, oh, and then you scroll down. It's like, oh, look, I actually didn't give you a blank note. It said, oh, because he wrote Sly Stallone. He's like, I predict that you'll choose someone who starred in the film Rocky. And he was like, what? No way. And I said, look, even wilder. I was like, look at the background on my phone, and there's a picture of Sly Stallone on my background. And he's like, what? He's like, I even changed my mind. But even after doing that, I'd done so much magic. I knew that he had an iPhone, which it works on. I was like, oh, I did want to, but I just thought, is this too much magic? I've been doing magic for about 20 minutes now, and we're supposed to be having a catch up. So even though he was loving it, I decided to like, that's enough. But yeah, I could have done it for the first time yesterday.
Well, do it next time, man. There's something about drawing duplications that when you perform them to people, like I try and forget about anything I know in terms of the method. I just try and purely think that I'm actually doing, and it sounds ridiculous to say, but I
Mm,
try and actually believe that I'm doing it for real. And I sort of forget everything to do with how it works, and I really try and transmit that I'm doing it, not that I'm doing it, that we're doing it.
mm,
And it creates this sort of weird synergy between you both that like there's a reason why I'm not saying is there's a reason why draw and dupes are like a perennial thing for all mentalists. People feel it in a different sense. I can't explain what it is. It's like there are certain pieces of like magic and mentalism that just completely transcend trick. And I think draw and
mm.
duplication are those. For example, like when you reveal someone's star sign to them in a general thing, it's 1 in 12, right?
Yeah,
If you reveal someone's birthday, that's kind of cool. That's amazing. When you reveal someone's star sign, they freak out. But that's 1 in 12 versus 1 in 365. But there are
mhm,
certain things that come with a star sign that are like instinctual, or they tap into like someone's soul. And the draw and dupe is kind of the same thing because they picture that they're doing it or they're doing it and they see it as their own. So there's some sort of ownership over a drawing versus, or the thought of a drawing versus like a piece of digital or analog information about themselves, if that makes sense. Like your
yeah,
date of birth is a number, it's numerical, it's logical. But then like artistic visions, in a sense, then there's something that taps into people's heads that they just, I don't know. Yeah, all I was saying is it's a phenomenal effect. And
yeah.
I
You t- you you said something earlier which I wanted to double click on, but when you said, and I mentioned something about this in my last video as well. There's a moment between getting the peak and revealing the information, and that grey area is what sells the trick. And I've started to learn so much more about that grey area. And like you say, some magicians are bad actors. I've been learning. I signed up to Reed Ferry's Wizard tier on his membership. He's got so much good stuff, right? Yeah, we'll get to that. I'm trying to segue into it, but yeah, he's got so much good stuff. And honestly, like it's so like I alluded to it on the last video, but when someone drew a wine glass, I was like, oh, it's picture the size of this object. In fact, I think it's quite small, isn't it? In fact, you kind of you hold it like this. That is obviously fake. I'm acting, but like it sells it rather than is it a wine glass? It's just obviously there's so much more that can be But yeah, selling that illusion of mind reading, and you've got to kind of believe it, like you said, and it makes it so much more powerful. And that other video you did with I forget his name, but the guy who was talking about storytelling in magic.
Oh, Perseus.
Yeah, Perseus. That really helped. Like, for example, yesterday, me and my friend, I did Rejoined Express, and we are old friends. I was like, look, this is you, this is me. I've got a piece of paper or a piece of card with my name, Fred, and a piece of paper with his name, Lewis. I said, look, this is like us. Like, we're close friends, but we drifted apart for ages, and we're together now, but eventually we will drift apart again. We haven't seen each other for 10 years. But what I want to do is make something that will make this a lasting memory, and then it joins together, and then that's got a story now, rather than like, oh, look at the ooh, and then it's just together, and that. So these little tips I'm learning along the way, storytelling, selling the mentalism a little bit. It's just all making me such a better magician, and the only way you get better is by practicing, and practicing is bloody terrifying, because you've got to, sometimes you make clumsy mistakes. Like I just did a rather clumsy performance for you, but you know what I mean? Like that's the first one. So yeah, I fucking love magic, man.
Yeah, same. Well, I wanted to pick your brain, ask you about a few things before I deviate. It's so strange because the magic that I'm known for is like complex or like stuff that other magicians will be impressed by, like, or professional magicians go, oh my God, wow. But when I go out and perform, it is always the basics that I use essentially. Like for forces, it's either the cross cut force or do you ever do the cut deeper force? Because that's such a oh my God, man!
I
If you're not doing this, you are missing out on the best force in all of Magic.
oh
Cut deep
okay.
force is get rid of these dupes. Is whatever the top card is, you say I want you to cut off a small packet and turn it over, and you see every time you cut to a card, it's a different one. They cut a bit, say this time cut a bit more, turn those over, and it's a different card. Obviously, spread through and take out the first face down card, so then we don't know what it is, and it always forces that card. Cut deeper
Mm,
force. That is the one, probably the force I go to and I use probably now 50% of the time. But basically, when I perform, I'll use stuff like that, and the rest of it is obviously there's a reveal, and it's the liminal space in between that I hammer. So it's
mm,
the if it's a playing card, I will just really work on if I'm going to do it like a mental reveal, like acting like I'm trying to tap into their psyche and pick up on images, or like this. I watched your last video when you talked about this and redid it to me, and I did a chair, and he was like did a chair. Whatever it is, I will just hammer that liminal space, because that's really where then that's when people start to feel the magic
mm.
as opposed to being like think it's a trick. But
Yeah,
two things.
go on.
I want to know how you got into magic. I know it could be a much different conversation, but I can't figure out, or I can't remember what is your origin story?
Okay. I just want just before I say that, I really liked it when he did it with Cavern Booth, and he was like, he did it with the hand. He was like, look, is it like this, and is it a spoon? I was like, oh my God, what? You could just say spoon, but the fact that he grabbed his hand and like put it
Oh,
up to
let
his
me
mouth
tell
like
you
he,
one. Let me tell you one that's fucking amazing like that. I was watching Luke Jamay at the session convention back when he was a mentalist. And one of the things he did was, and I think then Dynamo did this in his stage show, in his arena tour, but he got a person to pick out a page from a book and read the first paragraph, right? And it was from the Jungle Book, and it was describing, well, but what this will happen. So he said, I want everyone in the audience to stamp your feet. So they were doing this, stamping, stamping, stamping. And then I want this half of the audience, this section of the audience to clap your hands, and I want this section of the audience to rub your hands together. So there was like this, and then the guy's face is like, and then he goes, "What was the paragraph about?" And he's like, "Oh, it's about a thunderstorm," and it sounded like a thunderstorm. And I was like, "Oh my fucking God!" So it's
yeah,
the idea of like using noise as well. So if somebody was thinking of, if you force something to do with like an airplane and you somehow I don't know, whatever it is, but just essentially that. And there are other interesting things too. Like Pete Turner uses whispering a lot. So if you've got a big group of people and you've peeked something that they've written down, like, and you've put it in the wallet, just to whisper it to that person, and that change of pace, like it's very personal, it's very up close, and also then when he whispers, you can whisper something like profound to them as well, or like well, I won't say what Pete says, but you can whisper something like you're thinking of iceberg, and let me tell you, you already know that decision the answer to that decision you've been thinking about.
Mm,
At the same time as you
mm.
go, and you just see them, and man, everyone's going to react to them. And you're not. It's I call it hits for free. It's miracle for
Yeah,
free because you're not working any harder in terms of method or skill or anything. You're just altering how you deliver it.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
visual thing, an audible thing, or just your tone, the way you pitch it. It's just, and you can experiment then. If you know
yeah.
someone's thinking of something, text your friend in the middle of the routine and say, "Oh, when I call you, just reveal it." And it takes those tiny tricks and makes them play on different levels. And
Yeah.
you're not doing anything different. You're not working any harder, really.
So I don't know if you I wanted to pick your brains on what the little marked deck trick that I revealed in the last video, or like that was inspired by Pete Turner. Basically, I'll just run through it real quick. It's you say think I'm thinking of a card and I want you to pick up on it. Think of the color. Oh, I think you're thinking of the wrong color. I want you to change your mind. Trust your intuition. And then essentially pick a suit, and then I want you to think of a value. And now and you haven't even got the pack of cards out yet, and then you're like, okay,
It's what I
excellent.
loved
So
about
look,
it.
now I've got a pack of cards here. I want you to pick out the card that you're thinking of and put it on the table. And then you reveal like the card I was thinking of was the seven of diamonds, and they're like, no way. And like essentially that trick is easy, so easy. And then all of a sudden you've got a deck of cards, and instead of like being like, oh, let me show you a trick. You know what I mean? You've
Yeah.
introduced it conversationally. You've done the one of the most powerful bits of mentalism that I know. Honestly, it is so phenomenal. I can't believe Pete just dropped this in the middle of a podcast, and it just planted this seed in my head of like, whoa, like I've been using a marked deck wrong all my life, or at least since I got into Magic. But like that is so insanely powerful, and it gets insane reactions, man. Insane reactions.
Yeah, I can imagine. What I love particularly about that is that it's like what you highlighted too is that it starts off without a playing card, without the deck in play,
Yeah,
and then slowly but surely it becomes a trick and a magic trick. But it started off just sort of talking openly. There's a trick called, I think it's called, and I talked to Mark Elson about this, and I always get the name wrong because I memorize it wrong, but I think it's called Limelight, and it's very similar. And I've actually got performance footage of me doing this quite a lot. So it's very similar, but you give your phone or a piece of paper to someone, and it's got instructions, and they start reading them. And so it says, right, you're going to be the magician. So basically, I would give them, if I'm performing it to you, I'd give you the paper or my phone, it doesn't matter. And you would say, read the script. So it says, hi, my name is, and then leave a blank space. Say, hi, my name is Fred. I'm going to be your magician this evening. I'm going to take this deck of cards. So you give them the deck of cards. I'm going to shuffle it up. You're going to pick a card. So then you'd fan the deck to me. I'd pick a card. Look at it. Remember it, Lloyd. Put it back in the deck and shuffle it. Okay. So then you shuffle the deck. You have no idea what I'm picked, and you're the layperson. And then it says now, and there's some gags in there as well. Now I'm going to take a card out of the deck. So you say, I'll slide one out at random, face down. So you do, and then you say, now Lloyd, for the first time, tell everyone the card you picked. And I say like five of diamonds, and you see, ha, I knew that. Go ahead, turn it over and take a look. And I turn it over, and it's the fucking five of diamonds. Everyone freaks out, including you. And it says now I'm going to go buy you a pint. And you read it. And it's essentially the same thing, but you make them become the magician. And I've had mileage out of that. Mileage. So
mm,
it's very similar to the Pete thing in the sense of the method wise, but you flip
mm,
it on its head, and suddenly they are the magician. I'll link you to the right direction of where to go and learn it from Mark. It is phenomenal. And if
yeah,
you like the Pete Turner one and you're in that zone of playing around with these types of effects, I think not to say I think you'd have equally as much fun with that because it is so interactive and they
yeah,
are magician, and also it's baffling. It's completely
yeah.
baffling.
That is so cool. I love that. I absolutely love that. And that's why I like what I was trying to encourage with the message of my channel, which kind of again kind of happened on accidentally, is that instead of buying so many new magic tricks, there are so many absolute gold, like mind-blowing reactions that you can get with just simple techniques that things that you already own, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, all about Mark Elston. There's a book that I've got come in from him, which is called Hidden Gems. And so what he does, he's got a big compendium, and it's on the Three Monkeys publishing. But what it is he's gone through all like every like hundreds, I don't know how many, but an insane amount of pre-existing material, like books, and he's picked out the best tricks from them. So literally hidden gems. Instead of
Mm.
buying new, you go and learn that. So just shout out to that. But if anyone's interested in going down the same path that like we are sort of going down, which is sort of unearthing the gold instead of trying to make gold out of nothing or the new stuff, that's the way to go.
Do you say hidden gems? I'm going to write that down.
Hidden Gems
Um,
by Mark Elston by a
talking
French
of,
publishing company.
oh, there you go. Talking of things you already own, Lloyd. Yee?
What is this, you crazy motherfucker? Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. So I got this in the post, which is Reed Ferry's logo. And I went to open it. I was chatting to Kaylee, and she was like, "Oh, you're going on a podcast with Fred today?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Maybe open it on the podcast."
Yeah, there you go. Well, any clues as to what it could be?
Well, did you send this to me?
I sent it's a gift from both of us.
From you and Reed?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I kind of guessed what it could be. It might be that t-shirt that I love.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Can you
it
see
is
it?
essentially because you said that you
I'm
wanted
gonna open
a
it.
way to introduce magic organically, and if there's any way that I know to
I I seen Reed perform this to me a couple of years ago, and it
yeah,
says, "Oh man, thank you,
you're welcome.
dude." It says RF a magic trick, and it says ask to see a magic trick. And when I wear this, it's gonna encourage people to ask to see a magic trick, and then I'm gonna have to fucking perform. Reed, oh man, dude, Fred, oh, thank you. Why
I
am I
want you to
copy?
I want you to become I want you to become a performer of magic, you know?
I'm so, wow, man.
Not just a nerdy creator of magic. I want you to actually share it.
And what other people don't know about this is that it's got all the reveals for all the hearts on the t-shirt too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you force the suit hearts, which is the easy part, because you just say, okay, well, whatever that, right? And then, so like here it says three of hearts. It's got the jack of hearts on the front. It's got your card on the shoulder. So you got like the first part as a gag, and then it says, no, I'm kidding. It's got the nine of hearts. So you can reveal all the hearts. Man, I feel like I should put this on.
Put it on, put it on, put it on. Yeah, why
Hey,
not?
boobs are high.
Well, hey, this is the part of the video where the analytics will
This
spike.
is where we
Like
did
people
a
will keep.
live stream and got the dollar bills coming in, y'all. Oh my gosh. Oh, it feels so soft.
Oh, nice. I'm
Oh,
so glad it's a good fit.
oh, look at that. Ooh! Oh man, thank you, dude.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, I'm going to Costco in a bit and I'm gonna wear this without a jumper, even though it's raining.
Oh, are you actually?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe me.
There'll be a story. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I keep mentioning it in my videos, and I just wanted to like clarify. I've got no financial stake in this t-shirt. It's just a product I truly believe in. Because, like I say, when I do Reed Ferry's propless guest, like 9 times out of 10, they pick the Jack of Hearts. Like, and I'm like, oh, and it's so wonderful because you've got it. They haven't seen it. And you're like, oh, are you thinking of the Jack of Hearts? And they're like, again, 8 times out of 10, they're probably like, yes. And I'm like, oh. And then I let it sink in. Is there any way I could have subtly influenced you? Look at my shirt. Because all the other reveals are like quite hidden. But the Jack of Hearts, they see it straight away and they're like, oh, no way. Oh my
I need to
God.
learn them all because someone might say to me, and then I'm like, okay, fuck. So ace of hearts to there.
Oh, don't give too much away. I'll send you the link to the
Oh
tutorial
yeah.
because
Oh,
Reed has a full tutorial
okay.
that comes with the shirt.
Maybe I won't wear this today because it's what it says. All right.
Well, like I say, you could easily just without doing that magic trick, you could just be like, yeah, sure, I'll show you, do Crazy Man's handcuffs.
Oh yeah, that's true. I do that all the time, and I never. By the way, I've seen that you did it too. Yay, well done.
Yeah, yeah.
I never do it in my hands. I only do it in their hands. I
Oh,
only,
really?
I never ever. It's always straight into their hands, two phases, and then I'll show you. I got performance footage of this. But then I do a third phase where the third phase is, and it works really well because they're conditioned so heavily and they think they know what's happening. And when you got to do it a third time, they really think that they can sort of see what's happening. But what happens is the third time is I put the bands in spectator A's hand, and then spectator B holds the other band that way, like this, right? So I'm away. I'm standing back on the other side of the room if I want to, and then spectator B brings their fingers together and then starts to rub, and the band vanishes. And because I say look as close as you can, you kind of don't know if it's half in, half out, and they're like, yeah, I can see. It's like, yeah, I don't know what it is because it's the way it's made, and then it vanishes, and it's one of those like nuclear blast moments. It's absolutely bonkers. People's faces melt when I do this.
That
That's
sounds amazing. Have you
super
done a
easy.
tutorial on this? Is it your effect?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the method is old as the hills. I was in New York years and years ago, and I was doing this in the bars there, and I bumped into Marcus Eddy and Danny Garcia and a bunch of people. And Marcus Eddy had been working the same type of routine. He was doing it with like a story hook, an emotional hook. I was literally just doing it for the visuals. So, but complete independent creator. We were just chatting about it briefly outside a bar. So I don't think there's any originality. I'm not claiming any originality to it at all. I'm assuming other people have done it as well as that, but just the origins anyway, or history anyway. If I got a rubber band, I can show you. It's super.
Oh, I'm excited now. There you
Honestly,
go. You get a free tutorial.
yeah. Have I got a rubber band? That's the question. Do I
Normally,
have?
you always have them on your wrist.
I know, I know. I was. I just got out of bed, man, and I had a shower. This is a good podcast, isn't it? Right, I don't have a rubber
Yeah,
band. Oh, I've got this. Will this work? Yeah, right. I've got this wristband. This will kind of work. So all it is, hold a rubber band like this,
yeah,
go to match it with this hand, but invert it, right?
yeah.
So thumb to index finger to thumb. See like that. And then you just twist your hands into the crazy mountains position, right? Okay, so you go, so very simply, you start inwards. Sorry, let me start again. So mirror your hands. So I've got a rubber band.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, perfect. And the reason this works so well is because I've done it twice already, so they know exactly what to sort of look for. So mirror your fingers together like this, Fred.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. With your free hand, turn the back of your, that's it, outwards.
yeah,
Put these two fingers inside. So make sure it's proper pointing down, not like that, down. Yeah. Put
yeah,
that aside.
yeah.
Now pull forward a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now just twist into the crazy man's position.
Oh,
And now
yeah.
when you pop your fingers out, it'll vanish.
Whoa, that looks exactly the same.
It's
And then
exactly
you're
the
like,
same.
okay, look, watch, you ready? Pow, it's gone.
Yeah, gone, right? So what I do is I do it first two times, right? On the
Yeah.
third time, I either flick the other rubber band away or put it in my pocket, and I act like the trick's done, right? So I do twice, and they're freaking out. One band's gone, and just down by my waist or literally like in front of them. I just set it up. I say, let me show you one more time. This time we'll make it a bit more impossible. I say you, and I'm like pointing like this. It's like you hook your fingers in again. They know exactly what to do. They've already done it. So this time you come and put your one finger where mine is, and your other finger on your other hand where mine is. And it's a little bit like sort of clumsy, but it doesn't matter because they're learning, like, they're going to do it. But I try and get them basically so they're pointing. And then the rest is just acting. I come away and I say, okay, you're going to bring your fingers. So you are going to bring your fingers down, 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 and then start to rub them together. And then just pull your hand out. It's like a pop moment. And then the person's there, and it is just hands off. They do all
No.
magic, and it's literally insane. I've experimented with the other band appearing like around a glass and objects and stuff. It doesn't really add to it because they don't give it. Dude, think about this from a layperson's point of view. two friends have just made it something completely, and it's the surprise element. They really think
Mm,
they know where the direction is, and then it's U-turn and kick to the head in their hands, visual as fuck, and you've done nothing. It's very,
nice.
very powerful. And next time you get an opportunity, you've got two people, try it. It'll change the
Oh,
way you do stuff.
that sounds cool, man. Yeah, that sounds really, really good. Well, just one more time. It goes in like that,
Yeah.
round.
And then like I say, just keep that rotation going like a 360. So push forward. That's it.
Ah, yeah.
No, no, keep going around more. So you do one more. So come forward and then one more twist.
Ah, yeah. Okay, so you put your fingers in here, you put your fingers in here. There's no way it can go, and then you just rub your fingers together.
Yeah, and you like you mimic it.
Bong! That looks amazing. I
It's
fooled myself.
honestly, and the best bands to get are latex-free size 19 rubber bands. There's a company called like Alliance or Alliance with a Z.
Okay.
Make them.
Yeah, yeah.
They make them in a shoebox of them. They're 15 quid. I've had my shoebox of them. Well, I would have had it for 12 years, but I lost one box of them. So the latest one I bought was 6 years ago, and it's still filled to the brim. That's how many you
Hmm.
get. So don't go buying them from anywhere else where people sell you 20 for $10 or whatever. This is 15 quid. It'll literally last you as long as you don't lose the box, like your
Nice.
lifetime. So size 19 latex. It's the latex free that makes them feel lush.
Do you know what you should do? If you've got that many, you should like put a couple in a like a little bag and just send them out with your magic gifts and just say, hey, listen, here's a little something.
Oh,
Uh, that was quite cool.
that's a good idea. Well, man, this is amazing so far. Sorry, I'm so hyped. I got my t-shirt. When I was doing the decks, I had a product called Decks I did with Javier Fuenmayor, and one
I've
of the
got
ideas
one.
that you got one. Oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
man! I literally that was such an insane release. There was so much controversy, but then every now and then I feel there's a guy called Sam the magician from the UK. He's a busker in Covent Garden, and he opens his he does like kid shows. I don't know if he opens this as kids or his adult show, but he comes out on a pair of skates and he has any card named. And as he skates through the audience, as he skates onto the stage, like the card is named and he uses he meshed me. He said he uses decks and it's what he grabs one card out of the air. But yeah, every now and then I guess like so many pros use it, but there was so much controversy online. Like in my head, I like never want to talk about it. But
Yeah, yeah.
anyway, what I want at the time of that project, I think it's on the tutorial, or it might not be, but I wanted to make a hat that said, think of a playing card. So
Mm.
they'd be looking at my head. So in a similar vein to this, I didn't know about this then, but it'd be that I'd be chatting to someone and they wouldn't be able to like look down and they'd say, okay, all right, I've got one. And I'd say, okay, what is it? And then they'd say like five of clubs or whatever, or 10 of hearts. And then as I would take my hat off, I would load it in.
Oh, that was smooth. That was smooth.
But that was the whole thing. So I wanted to, maybe I could. Obviously I have to speak to Reed, but the idea was that it was all to do with decks. And then as I took the hat off, I'd come down and because I was in cop, but it's the perfect position. It would come off and you pretend like you put it straight from the hat. Javier does teach the card hat tutorial bit in the tutorial. I can't remember if we mentioned the embroidery, but I think it is in there. But yeah, come off but again, be fun
That's
to do.
cool. That's cool, man. I like that. I like that. And like I say, with that shirt, like if you haven't if you haven't opened with the magic trick, there's always like some outs. Like I say, for if for whatever reason someone picked the 10 of hearts, right? And then you say, "Oh, would you be impressed if I could make your card appear on my shirt?" You know, oh, there's a gag. But then look, what about, well, I think it's down here, whatever. But you're like, "Oh," and they're like, "What?" It's
Have I
because
showed
when
you
I
your card gag that I have tattooed on me?
no,
This is so annoying, right, man? So I was like, I've got an amazing idea. So I ran off, designed it up, and I was like, I'm literally going to put it on me before anyone can steal it. I thought it was so clever. So you would pick a card. It would be, let me see. Let me just do it. So I'll look away. I don't know why I'm performing this. This is so dumb. So I'd say, Fred, I'm going to riffle through the deck. You just call out stop anywhere you like.
stop.
Right there.
Yeah,
One there, so you're good.
one more. There we
Ooh,
go. That one
okay,
there.
okay, that changes it. So remember the card that we stopped at?
Yeah.
Okay, and it goes in the deck. And now I say, would you be impressed if, like, you change your mind, one card more, one card less, it would have completely ruined this, but you picked the whatever it is. So would it be, think about your card, would you be impressed if I had your card tattooed on my arm?
Yes.
So I say, you can check this shit out, Fred. I come over and I show your card. Your
Your card. Nice.
Well, lay people go absolutely wild for that. Like they love it, but more like in a fun way, right? They're not like
Yeah.
impressed at all, but they're like, oh my God, you actually went through with getting a tattoo. And then I say, and then they say, what was your card? What was your card, Fred? What was it?
The King of Clubs.
King of Clubs. Watch,
Yeah.
I told you I had your card tattooed on my arm. And you see it says King Clubs.
Clubs. Nice.
No one has ever given a shit. Ever. Ever. I've performed it so many times. People go, they have so much fun with the your card tattoo.
Yeah.
Not once have I ever gotten a reaction from the reveal.
That's funny.
Ever. Like, never gotten anything. It's always been like, huh, oh yeah. But the your card thing, yo,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
it's like, oh, come on, man.
Which is funny because like talking about the t-shirt, when I first got the t-shirt, I thought it was a bit of a gag, like, oh, your card, oh, that's funny. But then what if I could, if you the seven of hearts. Oh, look at that, the seven of hearts. And I thought people would be like, oh, like Xen. But like people have gone, no way, no way. Like I've got a
Yeah.
friend who is like extremely skeptical and is he doesn't really get very good reactions. But when I did it to him, he was like, no way. I remember it was the three of hearts. I remember I was doing like, look at this, like that. And he was like, no way. And what he said was like, I just can't get my head around how you made me choose the three of hearts. And I was like, oh, I hadn't even considered that. In his head, that's the explanation. I've forced it. I've somehow forced he doesn't know that they're all over the shirt. For him, that was one of the most best reactions I've ever got from this guy. And it was from the t-shirt. And I thought it was like a bit of a gag. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow. And he was like, man, honestly. And he says it to me these days. Like, I still can't believe that, that one where you made me pick the three of hearts. And it's
Do you know
wild.
what you should have in reserve is 13 instances where you could show so one for each card, but where you could say, oh yeah, well you're probably wondering why, but do you remember that selfie we took 6 months ago? If you look at that,
Mm.
there was a three of hearts in it. But if it was a different card, you say, oh, well, remember that WhatsApp conversation? I mentioned something about a four and a heart in the same conversation. Look back in the ninth, and you could write it in your notes. 13 instances where you've got an example of how you've subliminally influenced them for that one card. Obviously, the rest you never tell them about. But it'd be like
Yeah, yeah.
then they'd be in a real Mobius strip of deception. What I was gonna say to you is I've been thinking about your performance that you did to the people when is your partner's name Lou?
Chris.
Chris. I don't know, sorry, but I've got different names wrong.
No, my previous partner's name was Lou.
I'm so sorry.
That's all right. No, it's fine.
Chris, when Chris was cooking dinner for people and she was upstairs, you were downstairs,
Hmm.
and you were doing this dinner party and you ended with the lucky ladybug.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it would be phenomenal to do this kind of thing, right? Because you were like, oh, I had this other trick kept up my sleeve and I wasn't going to do it and it ended up being the best thing I did. If you to incorporate it with everything that you're doing, if you had a menu of magic,
Oh,
right?
no.
So you start off by saying, right, I'm Fred, I'm the magician. Upstairs it is Chris who's making the food. I've got some effects you can choose from. We've got a starter, a main, and a dessert. So you'd say there's three tricks here, and they call like da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da. And obviously you can do any one of them, right? And they've got a
Yeah.
cool, interesting name. So you say pick one off and we'll do one. Then you do one or two for the main, da-da-da-da, da-da-da, and then you do one for the dessert. And at the end, you would reveal that you predicted the order of the tricks they would choose as well in an envelope.
Ah.
So it ties in with like the restaurant theme that you're gonna, the cooking theme.
Mm.
You also have all these tricks ready to go. And at the end, you've got this kicker ending, which is like a confabulation where you predicted all along that they would choose the order of that, and you could show that like the envelope that this came out of was in there.
Yeah. I love that. That's really good. So I did Trilogy Extreme at this gig, and I kicked myself because you know when you think in hindsight you could have given such a pseudo explanation and blown their minds.
Yeah.
So the lady picked the Jack of Hearts. So my Trilogy Extreme, the ending was the Jack of Hearts, the Seven of Spades, sorry, the Seven of Clubs, and the number 37. When I asked the guy to choose a number, he chose 37. When I did the whole mind reading thing, she chose the Jack of Hearts. And when I did the 52 to 1 deck, she chose the Seven of Spades. Now the seven is a black seven, so I could have easily gotten away with it. But it just occurred to me in hindsight. I was like, oh, imagine, this is already a miracle. But like, what if I said that this wasn't random? Do you remember that card that you chose was the Jack of Hearts? The number that you picked out from random was number 37, and from all the pick you picked, I could have even said the Seven of Clubs. You might have even misremembered it,
Yeah.
and that would have been like, whoa, an extra sort of Darren Brown layer of like, and it was just accidental, and I just missed on it, and I just thought, oh shit, I should have done that. Like, do you ever find like coincidences in magic are just so powerful? Like some of the most powerful effects I've ever done in my life have just been coincidences. I remember
Yeah.
once
Gotta let.
I was at this like gathering, this party, and my friend said, "Oh, can you show my friend a magic trick?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." I was like, "Do you have a favorite card in the deck? Any card you want?" And I was just kind of just riffing. I had an invisible deck or whatever, and he said the Queen of Spades, right? And I said, "Oh, that's so interesting." Immediately, I started getting quite giddy because I've got like the multiple outs for B Wave. I've got a shirt on, and in my top pocket, right, I've just got this, right? And I said, "The Queen of Spades, that's a free choice. Are you happy? Do you want to change your mind?" I was like, "Look, I want you to reach inside my pocket and just pick out this." And he opens it up and it says, "You will choose the Queen of Spades." And it is probably one of the greatest magic tricks I've ever done in my life because it was so cool. But it was a complete
You just happen
coincidence.
to have it on you.
I just happened to have it on me. I always keep the Queen of Spades and the Queen of Clubs as like an extra multiple out for like B Wave. So
Oh,
I just happened to have this in my pocket and he happened to pick that. And I was like, yeah,
you kind of
sweet.
feel like a fraud when you get these moments as well, don't you?
It was so cool. So I don't know if you ever got that, like someone like just utter coincidence, and it's just and you're even shocked, and you're like, so that's pretty much a magician fooler, right? Because you're like,
Yeah,
how
it is.
did he do
But
that?
I've seen magicians do have similar moments on stage as well, where they've done something and they just had the perfect out, and they're like, oh, I want to explain it afterwards. Like, how the fuck did you do that part? And they're like, oh my god, they just nailed it, and I took it, which is that's kind of what magic's about. Like, I'm totally open. I'm not like spiritual or anything, but I'm totally open to allowing the forces that be to inflict magic upon me at certain times, where just things just happen and it's like, wow, like that was real magic.
Yeah.
On a slight, not a tangent, but like I talked about a story years ago where I was performing magic to my friend, and he was on about card stunts. So he'd seen like Ricky Smith Jr. flicking cards into like fruit or something. And he's like, "Can you do any of that?" And I was like, "No, not really." And I was trying to show him like shooting cards, and I was crapping, and I dropped all the cards on the floor, and it was a mess. So I picked them up. As I picked them up, have you ever seen the Roadrunner Cull by Kosi Kimlat?
No.
It's essentially without like, and I don't do it very well, and this is going back a long time ago, but it's a way of culling. See, drop everything. It's a way of culling the cards when you're going through them to separate the red card in there. So it kind of looks a bit like this. And I don't do it very well. But as you go through, so it looks, I don't know what my angles are because my name on the screen is covering me. But as you go through the cards, it looks like you're just sort of counting them or going through, but essentially you're secretly separating them all, right? Back.
Ah, okay.
So anyway, so the cards are on the floor. I picked them up instinctively as I was just chatting with him. There wasn't any tricks. We were just talking about throwing cards, and I think we were talking about what pub we were going to go to, whatever. I just separated the cards, but just in my hands, basically, and I put the cards down on the table. That was it. And we're chatting about stuff, and then he told me about how he's going to uni or whatever it was going to be, and then he goes, "Dude, what do you do when if you're performing magic and you drop the cards in the middle of the trick?" I was like, "Oh, I just use magic to put them all the right way." And he was like, I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Well, it's not I'm not a very good magician if I can't even do something as basic as that. And he's like, what? So you're telling me like those cards that we just dropped, you were just magic them the right way? I was like, yeah. And he was like, go on then, as if he'd got me. And I was like, oh my fucking God. I was like, oh man. And then I was like, so now I was gonna try and talk him out of asking. I was like, oh, I don't know, man. Like, I've had a couple of drinks, hence dropping the cards, and I've been doing magic all week. I'm really. He's like, oh, never mind. I thought you meant you could actually do it. I was like, oh no, I can. I was like, I just really don't want to. And he was like, I was like, and so I was like, doing the whole thing. He's like, oh no, I get it, man. You have to do something secret, and then you can do it. Is it? And he was like, being friendly. I was like, no, I would use magic, but I'm just like, it's a day off, and I thought we were going to the pub. I was like, oh fuck it. I was like, look, I'll do it, but I don't want to do any more magic tonight. Then it takes a lot out of me. And he was like, okay, and he's like, no fucking way. And I was like, all right, I think they're all the right way now. I'm retired, so I might have left one. And in his mind, the trick was almost done before he even looked through. He was just like, and he picked them up and spread through them, and it's the one trick that he still talks about to this day. Like to
Yeah,
this day, 20 years later, he's still like, I have no explanation for that whatsoever. But it
yeah,
came from an organic moment that was just like not like kind of a bit of luck because I was not going to bring that up,
yeah,
and I genuinely dropped the cards.
yeah. I love that. Do you ever watch the guy? Oh, I can't remember his name. I really wish I could give him credit. He's got like a bald head, and he's got like he does the short form content, and he does what would be an impressive way to find your card? And he's an
Benedict,
Australian. No,
Benedict,
no, he's Australian, I think.
Australian, yeah. I'm sure his name's Benedict,
Um,
and he's
maybe
always
it's
filmed with a camera like from his chest.
no. He's on stage,
Oh,
and he says
oh,
what would be an impressive way to find your card? And essentially, I don't really know the method, but I'm guessing that the cards are in stack, and he knows a way to find the card quite quickly. Anyway, he said to this guy, "Oh, spell your name out." He said, "Oh," and the guy was trying to be a bit of a wise ass. He was like, "Oh, I want to change my mind. I was like, I want to think of a different card." So he spelt the cards out in his hand, and he said, "Oh, okay." And I'm pretty sure this is how it worked. Again, I could be wrong, but because the cards are in stack, and he knows that the actual card that he changed his mind to randomly is the same amount of cards away. So he said, "Okay, now I want you to spell your name out again in the other hand." And he said, "The first card you named, turn that card over," and it was that. And then the second card he turned over was the card that he named, and I'm pretty sure that was just a very, very lucky coincidence. But again, it was he was well prepared with the cards and stack. Or again, I don't know how it happened, but I'm pretty sure that was one of those moments where he was like, "Holy shit, yes,
so
absolutely, change your mind."
I've had exactly this right happen to me. Only time in my life, probably the only time it'll happen in my life, and it couldn't have happened to better people. So there's a couple that live around, just actually not far from me over there, and they love magic. And in fact, they're one of the only people I've really performed magic for locally that are like not like really close friends and family, but they love magic. My age, and I walked into a bar called the Marine in Porthcawl. This was like 10 years ago, and they said, "Oh, Lloyd, oh my God, please show us a magic trick," right? And they're one of the only people that will really say that to me because I keep it so under wraps what I do.
Mm.
So I walked in, I was like, all right. I was like, and in my pocket I had deck and stack in Mnemonica. I always start in stack. So uh I said, name a card to Dan, and he said, Ace of Spades. I was like, all right, which is seventh in Mnemonica. So I said to Leanne and his wife, I said, you name one as well. And she said Queen of Hearts, right? Which is 11th in Mnemonica. So I was like, all right. I was like, take the deck. I was like, just name a number between 1 and 10, not 3, because everyone goes for 3. And he's like, 7. I'm like, oh, fucking God. So I said, deal down. He dealt down, and the Ace of Spades was at 7th, right? The perfect A can, although the ultimate, like, typical cards named. And then I said, you give me another number, not a big one, because we'll be here all night. And she said 4. And she dealt down. If she'd said, well, there's a way, so I can teach you all. This is like a Tamara's thing. But there's because I had basically complete control, even if she said a different number. But the Queen of Hearts was 4 away. Yeah, so at this point, the Queen of Hearts is four away. She said four and dealt to it, and it was perfectly there. By the way, I'm God now to those people. I don't think I've ever actually done another trick to them since. Because to them, I walked in a bar, they shouted, do a trick. He said
Yeah.
spades seven, it was there. She said Queen of Hearts fourth, and it was there. I did nothing. That's the best trick that ever happened. Just for if you want it, if you're interested, this is what I would have done if she said any other number, right? So, um, there's this cool thing. I don't know if you can you kind of see the edge of the cards here? So, if I put the Queen of Hearts face up for now, right? Well, it looks like this. So name a number greater than four.
7.
Seven. So I'll go one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, but uncounted all the cards. Fair there.
Yeah.
But the Queen of Hearts is now the card that was dealt.
I thought you put the Queen of Hearts face up. That's wild.
So watch. I'll put the Queen of Hearts fourth again. Give me a different number bigger than seven or bigger than four at least. Okay.
9.
Nine. So look, I'll say like three, one, two, three, one, two, three. That's six cards. So that's nine in total. And then the Queen of Hearts is there. It's a
Oh,
little psychological thing. It's like a Tamara thing. Basically, if I do it face up, you'll see what's happening now. Any number between one and two, well, you can do this with bigger numbers and you just do bigger clumps. But so if you said five, for example, I'd say, okay,
yeah.
like one, two, three, four, five.
Ah, you had me completely fooled.
Yeah, it's destroyed me the first time I showed it. If you said seven, I'd say, okay, that's what's that? Three cards plus four, time misdirection. There it is. So I was completely confident. Once I knew that her card was four away, and he said seven, I was like, okay, doesn't matter. Name another number between one and 10. And she said four. If she'd said three, I would have had a deal three and drop the deck on top of the three, and then turn the top card over. If she said two, I would say I'll make it a bit more difficult than that because you know. Or I could have just said, okay, deal two, and I would have turned it double, but I would have said make it more difficult than that, and then just done it that way. So once
That was
I
amazing.
it's a simple thing, and dude, the card at any number that I do, the actual one that I do, 99% of the time, I can show it to you if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Is which drop all the cards. This sounds ridiculous, but this is my 10,000 hour one, right? So I'll say I'm gonna look away. You just think of a card. So I'm gonna flick the cards like this. Think of one that you see. I'm gonna look away. Don't let me know what it is, but just remember it. Okay. So I'm gonna look away. Can you see the cards there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get one?
I
Try again.
think.
I'll try again just to be safe. Ready?
Yeah, I got one.
Got one? So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna place one card in a certain position in the deck. I think there's good. I might be wrong
Yeah.
as well on this, just for the sake of it. So I placed one card. I'm not gonna tell you where, but I'm gonna deal down. You just tell me when to stop. But you would do this, by the way.
Okay.
So I'll deal down, or you can think of a number. It's up to you. You tell me when to stop.
Stop. Stop.
There.
Yeah, there.
This one go down or not?
No, no, that one on the table.
Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna spread these. Well, you would be doing this. I'll do it this like no sleight of hand
Yeah.
method, right? But this would all be done by you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know what card you're thinking of, but I'm going to go through the cards here and tell me if it's in this deck. If it is, then I've kind of fucked up. But um,
Yeah, I can see it already.
oh, you can see it already. Okay, I've gone wrong. I've gone wrong. Let me go again because it's through the internet. It's kind of tricky. I'll try it again. Sorry, I have genuinely gone wrong.
I was thinking of the four of clubs and it was on the bottom.
Oh, that was the four of spades on the bottom.
Oh no, sorry.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
Well, it's okay. It's all right.
I was,
I'll go through. You just think one that you see, but not this one. All right.
yeah.
Too
Okay,
fast.
got it. Yeah,
Got
got
it.
it.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. I look back now.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So I'm going to go through the deck, or I could shuffle them if you want me to, but I'm going to place one card in a very particular position. This wasn't like a really, really high card, was it?
No.
All right. It's okay. This is how we do it, maybe. All right. I'm going to use my little thing. So again, you would take the deck, you would deal down, and stop whenever it felt right.
Now.
There?
One
One more?
less.
One
One
less.
less. Yeah. That one there.
I'm going to spread cards. and this would all be done by you. I can like be off the other side of the room here. So I'm gonna go through and show you. Is the card you're thinking of amongst these?
Uh, no.
Okay, okay, we're getting close. How many cards did you decide to deal down?
14, I counted.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right. Do you see your card amongst any of these?
No.
14th card. You thought of any card in the deck. You decided on
Yeah.
15. What was the card you were thinking of?
The seven of diamonds. Nice.
Most basic bitch method for getting the card in position ever. The one of the strongest fooling pieces of magic I perform to all laymen.
Yeah, nice.
All laymen. And you actually counted. Most people don't because it's an after the fact thing. So I say deal down, stop when you want, spread, time misdirection, and then say, how many did you decide to deal? And they say, oh, I don't know. You say, well, let's just count. And
Oh,
that just
nice.
shows it all. And that's an Andrew Gerrard. So this, I'm just doing a gypsy peek for this. So I say I'm going to turn around, and
Yeah.
that's why I missed it because I was trying to do the camera. I'm going to turn around. I'm not going to look. You remember one, and I'm literally looking straight at the card. So like, I'd seen Ace of Spades there or whatever,
Yeah.
and I say good, and then I just cut the ace to the top and give it to them.
Oh, and then you were saying like that. I guess that was like acting when you were like, "Oh, I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah,
put the
yeah, yeah.
card."
Yeah, the card that I need, like say it was the dual clubs is there. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna place one card in the. I think this is it. Yeah, and that's just a random
Yeah,
card.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
That was good. That was good. That was because that had me thinking that obviously you were putting my card, which I thought you'd forced the seven of diamonds on me, but then I thought that you were putting the seven of diamonds in. So
yeah,
yeah, that really sold
oh
it. That
yeah.
was good.
But yeah, it's not a force. I literally with this is I don't know where it's published. I thought this is how Dave. So the first time I got into like street magic or this type of world of magic, I was watching a movie in the cinema. I was a kid, like 11 years old, and an advert came on the screen for Peugeot, and it started off by with David Blaine doing this. Do you remember it?
Yeah, yeah,
And so he gets you to think of a card, and then he does a snap change to the camera.
yeah.
And I don't remember the next couple of weeks of my life. And then he did a card through window, and it was absolutely unreal. And that's sort of like a big part of like my catalyst into magic was that actual TV advert. Well, anyway, I thought the method was, and I was wrong, but I thought it was just that he was flicking, stopping with his finger, and looking like that.
Ah,
I just copied that. I've just done that forever, and that's what.
oh,
Yeah. So I say I'm going to look away, and you wouldn't believe how much it destroys people. I say I'm going to look away. You think of one I don't want to see, but just remember it, and I'm literally just looking straight at it. They're focused here, and I just remember the one that I stopped on, and that's
ah,
it. It's like nothing, but to people, it's again we get in our lizard brains, and we think that this would never fool a blind mice,
ah.
but
Very
it's
cool. Yeah, I like that a lot.
all the stuff I do is like when I actually do things. If I actually do things, is like based like that card at any number. There's no complex moves. I literally cut the card to the top and give them the deck.
Oh, nice.
On top, like,
On the subject of that, I can't believe I haven't brought this up already, but on the last episode ended on a bit of a cliffhanger where you were like rushing off to the mechanics, and then a lot of people were in the comments saying, "Oh my God, did he perform? Did he perform?" So why don't you give us an update on that?
I did not perform. I did not perform. I got there and they were locking the door, as I assumed they would. Because it was on a Saturday and it was a rugby day. So they were trying to close early as well. So I got there in the nick of time, but they'd been basically waiting to lock up. So it was not appropriate
Yeah.
to like, by the way, also, can I bore you with how crap I am at magic? I have done a trick though, a very quick trick. I
To
kind of want to do
someone?
it. Just well, yeah, it was my wife's friend and her daughter, her young daughter, and Thomas. They came around. They wanted to see the magic studio. So it was this thing. Let me see if I can set it up off camera. If this
Yeah,
goes
go for
wrong, it's got to be cut because it's not my trick.
it.
It's been in my Blackpool video, so I can show it because it's a Tobias Dostal thing. But I had it around. And I was like, oh, that'll be fun to show because they can all see it. So I had a coin.
Hmm.
Yes, and I was like, okay, so Mali, look at the coin. And actually, there's a secret inside the coin, which is if I open it, I can beep boop, beep boop, beep boop, close it, and then I just give it straight to them. And the beautiful thing, if I sit down, the beautiful thing is this can be kept and examined. And so I just did that little quick moment of magic, and
Whoa.
yeah, that they were just like, what in the ever living? And they were trying to open it up and pick it apart. And obviously I was away with the secret. So I did that yesterday. And I think that's the only thing I've done since we last spoke to like people outside of Kaylee
Hmm.
and like close friends. But yeah. But
That's
it was
really interesting.
amazing reaction.
The thing is, right, so I'm not reacting. So something that you done before we started, where you showed me that, and then because like I'm a magician, you were like, oh, and here's how it works. Immediately, like you didn't even let me marinate in the mystery. You were just like, obviously, this is how it works because we like talk as magicians. But I was so fooled, man. And then you like showed me almost immediately, and I remember I didn't say it at the time, but I was like, oh, you should have.
Oh
I don't
no.
know why you like because you don't do that to anyone else, but I guess because like we're I don't know like in
I
the
just assumed, I
circle
just
or on the
assumed.
spectrum. I don't know. Like, but you were just like, oh, this is how it works, and I was like, ah, and then you just kind of not ruined it, but
Oh no.
you just exposed it to me straight away, and I didn't even get a chance to sort of
I
yeah.
don't know why, but I just assumed that you knew exactly what it was. I didn't think I was exposing it. I thought oh, I'm so sorry. Well, this is what it is. You can get it from tobiasdostel.com. I think it's called Crypto. It's Toby's first ever independent release. So he's made it
Oh,
all.
nice.
It's incredibly well made. It's called, and I think it's like pretty damn cheap. It's like, I don't know, in Blackpool he was selling it for like 40 quid or something.
Yeah,
Considering there's electronics in there and it's incredibly easy to do. But I was like, I needed something super visual because her daughter's young. Carrie's a police officer, so I was like, I needed something that I could show to like a different age range. So I was like, oh, I'll just do this super fast,
yeah,
and then that was it. And yeah, they were just like, well, there was no to them, there was no there was nothing else. It was just the coin. It was just that coin.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know, it's like if they weren't so expensive, those dollars, I'd let you keep it. So, but they were like hitting it, biting it, banging it, trying to, and I was like, oh,
That's cool.
you'll never know.
Yeah. That is really cool. I like that a lot. It has a great effect. But on that subject, your videos, again, I wanted to double down on this because, like, as I'm sort of trying to get people to use the magic tricks that they're not using, oh my God, the amount of magic tricks I wanted to buy after your video of like, oh, look at these are my favorite magic tricks. I was like, I want them all. I want the box, even though I like probably won't take the box anyway. I was like, I just want to know how the hell does that like bolt go straight through the thing? And then there's a deck of cards in the middle. That's why I bought heavy metal, you know, the AirPods one, because I genuinely just could not work out how the key came out. And then I got it, and again, I don't perform with it, and that was actually more expensive than AirPods themselves. But it was still, I just wanted to know how it was done, and then yeah, so yeah, the FOMO is real, like really, and I'm sure that must resonate with other people. Like, oh God, yeah, especially after such a big hyped up event, like, oh my God, yeah, I want to spend my money, like. But I'm trying so hard not to. Like I say, the only thing I've bought is the engram from Jake Keen, and then I'm like, "Ugh, no, I'm just gonna perform magic and not just FOMO into it.
Yeah, that's such it is such an epidemic within the industry is that we buy so much and we forget so much about what it's not a disservice to anyone because everyone's working on great stuff as well, but we get so distracted by shiny and the new thing.
Mm,
And what I think people are in love with you and your channel about is that you seem to have this like very, you know, even though you self-admittedly get distracted, but you have this almost laser focus as to what's important.
mm.
Like I actually looked on Monster Magic. I'm this close to buying Lucky Ladybug, and they've got it listed on there for whatever reason. They got two different listings. One of them's 21.99, one of them's 60.99. Same trick, I think, same exact thing.
Oh,
They've got two different listings. I don't know whether they've bought it cheaper. But if anyone is going to go buy it, Monster Magic in the UK, it's £5 off if you just look at the other listing.
maybe there's one with like more with more ladybugs.
Oh well, yeah. Well, the one I saw had 20 with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I got 25, but like I say, I've still got at least 10 left. So
But I was watching it, I was like, you really understand what's important in the effect. Um, and well, I desperately want to know what your origin story into magic was. I know it's kind of irrelevant to what we're talking about, but it's just I want to know like how did you what was it that like hooked you in? Was it seeing a method? Was it seeing a performance? Like what was that catalyst? Or was it a culmination of things?
well, I can go into it. I just want to give you a heads up that I've got work. I've got to go to work, so I don't have that much time. But I will go into it. So I was into magic a little bit as a kid. Like I got some magic kits. You know, I think like quite a lot of people like delve into magic. I did a really cool torn corner that ended up into a balloon that you popped, and like my parents were like, "Oh!" It was very very cool. But and then so a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, you remember David Blaine and Assy Wind did a it was on a platform called Studio. They were teaching magic, teaching card magic,
Oh,
and they taught like the key card principle, very basic methods, the
the cut
double
deeper
lift.
forces in there. The cut deeper force is covered on that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard of it before. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I've just never done it. But yeah, the so that's how I got into it. I was like, oh, David Blaine of all people, like he's gonna be teaching magic. I was like, okay, cool. And this studio platform was like quite cool. It involved recording yourself doing magic, uploading it, and there was like a sort of community based effort, like where people would upload their magic tricks and you could critique each other. It was quite cool. So then, as I sort of delved into card magic, and it was just organic card magic. I had no idea that you could literally buy magic tricks that were like way easier. So, and my theme at the time, or like my reasoning, was because I was like, right, well, I'm going to the UK because I was seeing this girl at the time who wasn't Chris, and I was like, right, I'm going to do magic for them at Christmas, and I'm going to blow their minds. So my Christmas present to everyone will be like some sort of magic trick, but they weren't like massive. I got a bit of I was a bit clumsy. I felt underprepared, and I ended up just fumbling a little bit and sort of didn't really lose interest. But that's what planted the seed, and then I just kept on practicing magic, and then I think I somehow ended up on Magic YouTube. And once you start on like Magic YouTube, it sends you down a little rabbit hole of just like watching lots of different things. Then I got trailers. I think the first effect I bought was decks because there was like a lot of hype around it, and I was like, whoa, like the trailer was like, I was like, oh my god, what is this like mysterious thing? I didn't even know what a card index was, never even heard of it. I was just like, what is this thing like that I'm gonna buy, and it's gonna make me like this master magician. And that's when I first got introduced to you through decks, and I don't know, like Magic YouTube just consumed me, and then I started buying tricks, and then yeah, I just started. I didn't really perform that much, to be honest. And then I just, yeah, well, someone bought me a Alakazam voucher. Alakazam are great. Also, they've got this great thing. Like, if you order over €70, you get free shipping. So I think I mentioned that before. So you're like, oh, well, I'll just chuck in a few other ones. And then they'd arrive in bulk, and I would perform a little bit. But actually, to be totally honest, since starting the channel, I've been performing way more. It's like I said to you before, it's like this feedback loop of like, well, I'm going to go, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. You know, if I'm saying to everyone, you know, why are you just buying magic tricks that you're not using? Why don't I lead by example? And yeah, it's uncomfortable sometimes to go out there and do it, but it's been so fulfilling. Like, I can call myself a magician now. And it's so weird. I feel like such an imposter, like on a podcast with Lloyd Barnes when I'm really just some bashful guy that is like very average at magic. You know what I mean? I'm just sort of like
I
honestly
don't.
sharing my.
I think you couldn't be further from the truth. I actually think that there are different areas to be a master and an amateur in magic, and I am absolutely an amateur performer. And there are professional magicians. So I have this whole thing where I literally, and I don't mean a disservice to anyone, I pretty much universally can't watch 90% of magicians perform to strangers. You know that like I don't know if you watch like Curb Your Enthusiasm or that type of comedy where it's like cringe comedy.
Yeah.
Uh, I literally can't. Some people are so they make me feel so uneasy when they perform that I literally have to switch it off. And with you, I'm the you're one of the very, very, very rare magicians that I'm just completely at ease. As soon as I watch you perform, I don't think, oh, he's gonna make magic look shit. He's gonna make all of us magicians look shit. I don't think that I'm absolutely confident that your people that you perform for are gonna fucking enjoy themselves,
Wow.
regardless of whether you do something mystifying or an impossible feat of, like memory, whatever it's gonna be. I just know the audience are with you on it. And that is something that, even though you might be saying you're an amateur or a hobbyist or whatever, you are so leagues and miles above the rest. And like, if you ever need any proof, I can send you. I don't like talking shit about anyone, but I can send you links of what I mean when I say I can't. There's like literally pro magicians I cannot watch because they make. You can tell their audience don't feel comfortable, and
Oh,
you
really?
just have this innate ability when performing magic that your audience trusts you. They are laughing with you. They believe you. And that is mastery to me.
No.
Forget sleights and forget knowledge base. That is
Yeah.
really the only thing that matters in magic,
That's
right?
such a kind compliment, man. I really appreciate that. But the thing, the imposter syndrome and the fraud that where I feel like a fraud is because I'm performing magic that I've just ordered in the post. Like Trick 46, it comes with a script. Oh yeah, obviously I do a little bit of pre-show work to gaff
If
up the
if you
suites and
are if
stuff.
you are if you are a singer in a band that does all the local pubs, are you not a
Yeah.
singer because you're not singing your own songs?
What I'm saying is like I do like Trilogy Extreme. It works out the box. You know what I mean? Like there are. I've got a really dodgy double lift. I can show you my double lift actually.
Dude,
Is this a?
if you were a race car driver, right? You don't go, I'm a fraud because I press the button on the Formula One car and it drives forward. Right?
This is
Anyone
how
can
this is how I do my double lift. I do it like this. Look. Oh look, is this your card? Look.
so.
It's I don't even do the whole like snap whatever like the way you flip it over like that. I just
It's people get so caught up in, and I do this too. So I'm like sort of sounding off on myself, what's vicariously, but it's irrelevant. What that moment is like like I think Eric Mead talks about it, and I've talked about it before. That they were experimenting with using magic as therapy, because when you experience that moment of when the hand is open and the coin's gone, there's like that you can't think of anything else but magic. And they were on about experimenting using it for like CBT therapy, that they would people that were like stressed or dealing with shit, they would show them a magic show. Every time that the magic moment would happen, they'd ring a bell. Bing, bing. And then they'd say, next time you get that speeding ticket in the mail or a bill that you can't afford, this keep this bell in your living room, ping it, and use that as like Pavlovian conditioning to sort of like try and just forget it for a moment. Take yourself out of the situation. And when you come back, you can digest it a bit more calmly. I don't know if they ever did it, but it was an experiment, a thought experiment. Anyway, that moment of when they experience magic is all that matters. Doesn't matter how you got there. Doesn't matter
hmm.
what happens necessarily afterwards. But whether you do your double lift with expert precision or whether you're doing it like a child would do it, and you're like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, because if they experience that card changing or coming to the top, it doesn't matter how you got there. So to say that I can understand why you think you're a fraud, especially if you're devouring content of seeing people who have exceptional sleight of hand, but then they fail in other areas. And some people have it all, right? That's just something to aspire towards. But you have mastery in areas that most people can't achieve.
Yeah. Well, it's a very kind compliment. Like I said, I've only just sort of like I feel very, very fortunate that like my channel gets a lot of attention because I've literally just started it, and there's so I don't know, I guess my message resonates with people, and it resonated with you, which is really nice. And I'm just so grateful that I've got like a little voice in the community now. It's great, but at the same time, I do need a wee, and I've got to go, man.
Yeah,
But this
dude.
was fun. Before I go,
Like,
I wanted to shout out a couple of bits of content I saw recently that kind of went under the radar. There's Chasing the Illusion and Kevin Booth went out and did street performances. It was
oh,
a really
yeah.
good video, and Kevin Booth was the same as you. He's like, oh my God, like he's a professional magician, right? You wouldn't think that he had this sort of like bashful, but he's like, oh my God, approaching strangers in the street.
Did
Ooh.
he do it?
And
Did
it,
he do it?
yeah, he did it. He went up and he had some like fails where they were like, yeah, no, we're all right. We don't want to see magic. He's like, okay, don't worry about it. See you later. just ran away. It was
That's
like
what I would
really
do. That's what I would do.
yeah, yeah. So that was really cool. So him and Chasing the Illusion, they did some street magic, like a challenge to like challenge each other to do magic in the street, which I thought was really cool. And then Reed Ferry and a guy called Cameron Marshall did a like a sleight off. Again, I think a little video that like went under the radar, but was very very cool. They challenged each other to do the oil and water trick, but they challenged each other to do three different sleights. Reed absolutely killed it. It was really, really cool. And then you go on Cameron's channel and they did it. It was just very, very cool. It's just like the creative process. Like you've got to come up with a trick using, I think it was like a triple lift, a Herman pass, and a dribble catch. And it's got to be oil and water. And it was really cool, man. The fact that they, put themselves outside of their comfort zone. And I think these like little videos that, for some reason, I like haven't really got that many views. I really wanted to like shine a spotlight on them because I think they're really, really cool, and that's why I feel like a fraud. Like sometimes when my videos get like more views than these amazing magicians that like go outside and like create like really cool, engaging content. So I really wanted to, signal boost that.
Oh man, good shout. I'm trying to think now. I like this actually. It's giving back. It's like trying to like direct people. I'm trying to think. Have I seen anything really good lately? No. No, I've watched a lot of magic, but no, sorry, I haven't watched a lot of magic lately because I've just been I've been busy building something in the background, making something in the background. So every day and
Mm.
night I've been up against it. But we should do this every episode is like write down a list of content and tell people to go and check it out. Mainly I just watch you.
That's very kind. Thank you.
I wonder what your average watch time duration is because my videos are generally really short. People tend to watch mine, watch The Secret and bail, but I always have to watch your videos to the end. So
I, I like I say, I've had a YouTube channel. I've got another YouTube channel, and I learned from that. Never look at the
I checked
analytics.
it out. I checked it out. I couldn't believe the long hair, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah, don't. Um, I thought you might be because when you said my girlfriend's Lou, I was like, oh, he's been watching my other channel maybe.
Yeah,
But
that's what happened. Well, I watched a couple of videos. I was driving, so I listened to a few.
yeah, yeah.
So then and I'm terrible with names. So hence me not getting your name, putting the dots together with you for so long.
Anyway, my point is, from having a YouTube channel, I refuse to look at the analytics. It's soul crushing. I think on average, maybe like 30% of the views, people watch to the end, right? So I think like the whole view count is they're vanity metrics, man. I just don't. I just 100% focus on the comment section because the comment section, if people take the time to like write a comment, you know that they've watched till the end, you know that they've got something lovely to say, and I always take the time to like try and reply to as many as I can because like that is like the community of magicians that we're sort of having a conversation, whereas like views, subscriber count, that's all kind of noise, it's numbers, you know what I mean? So
See,
yeah.
this is the reason why you are so good at magic is because you're looking at the in the right places. Your direction is at the right places, and that is making such a big difference. I almost want to write up a bunch of tricks I've loved doing over the years that are conversation or interaction based. That would be ideal for you. I might write that up maybe in the next
That'd
episode.
be great. That'd be great. Yeah, man. All right, listen, I've got to go. Also, just one quick, I was going to tell you, I've got a conversation with Reed Ferry lined up this weekend, so that'll
I'll
be
tell him
cool.
I was wearing this.
He'll
Sporting it
probably
around.
see it by then.
Yeah. I
But
can't
yeah,
believe you sent me something. I need to send you something back. I need to
well,
send you.
you did tell me you sent me a vanishing elephant. You probably forgot
I
about
know
that.
you have 30 more left to complete, and then I'm up to date, and then I can send yours out. I
Don't
got.
worry about it. There was no pressure. There was no pressure whatsoever.
Oh no, so Kaylee has a notebook filled with all the hundreds, or I think we're well, I don't want to say how many orders, but a lot of orders. But I've got a few gift orders that are going out, which are you're in one of those, but we can't give those out until we've completed all the purchases yet. It's the final
mate.
30. The final 30 are going out. I hope tomorrow. Final
Nice. Well, like I say, it's not tit for tat. There's no pressure whatsoever. I didn't even want to bring it up. If I wish I hadn't said anything. But what I'm saying is, don't worry about it. Like I got like Reed and I got you that T-shirt because
Oh,
you wanted to perform magic and you wanted a good excuse to perform magic, and now you're running out of excuses, Lloyd. So
Well, yeah, it's going to come to this moment where I'm either going to be exposed as a total fraud, like it's going to be on camera. Someone's going to follow me down the street and be like, "Show us a trick, then, fat boy," and I'll be like, "I can't. I'm not ready. I don't do it really. It's just an internet personality. I wish you weren't trolling me. My name's Dave." Or I do it and it goes really bad. So there's only two outcomes, and they're both bad for me. So that's what's going to happen. I think. I think.
Well, tune in next time to find out. Right, I've
Yes.
really got to go, otherwise I'm going to wee
I
myself.
could keep talking all day though. Oh man,
Right.
it's been lush catching up. Same time in a week ish.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. I'm keen.
All right. I'm
All
Lloyd.
right. Peace. I'm Fred, the underperforming hobbyist.
Bye.